What's up, guys? We're down here in Dumaguete.
Dumaguete! What's up, it's Fox?
Hey, we're down here. It's kind of a diving area, beautiful little town. Kind of a, what do you call it? It's like California in the 50s or something.
Yeah, it's a port town. It's
Port
totally
town.
nice down here.
Beautiful.
Insane sunsets.
Oh my
glass
God! Last
water.
fucking night, that mountain,
Oh my God.
the clouds.
You'll be watching it right now in this video. You'll see.
Yeah, we got to put it in there. Yeah. We got to put it in there.
So good, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And walking along the water was really nice. It's great to be here because I came here so long ago. It's nice to see the new Philippines, and then also how some things haven't changed, right? There's definitely some things that are not perfect in the Philippines. There's no question about that.
Internet number one.
Internet's not great. And the other thing is, I mean, there are places to get good internet.
Yes, yeah.
Like Bo's Coffee and Grizz has Starlink in his house.
Starlink's
You're like,
bitchin', yeah.
you can have Starlink. That solves, a lot of stuff, right? You upload huge fucking videos.
But
But
it's still totally worth it.
and the other thing is air. So they kind of have too many bad engines and I don't know if it's diesel or just poor fucking low quality making air bad in cities. So I don't want to say it's perfect, but I will say this. Philippines is fucking special. It is a cool place. Like, I am so glad we came back. Personally, I am so glad. Because it just reminds me, like, of the options I have. The cities, the fucking beaches. The diving here is fucking world class. Like, the diving is just like a whole nother area. We haven't gone diving yet. But the diving here is just insane. Like, Garden of Eden. Like, the best diving. It's so good. And it's so cheap, too.
Yeah, and there's like still a friendliness and a sweetness that you can just feel here, especially in Cebu.
True.
And that is something that you think you might
Of the local population.
Yeah, the local population. Just the people here are just so friendly and nice, and you're just walking down the street and they're like, "Hey, good morning, what's up, bro?" And they're like kind of like wanted you to drink with them, and the sweetest smiles you'll ever see, and it's like you kind of like realize this is a place where you take the good and the bad together, and you just enjoy it for what it is, because there's something special here.
And I think mixed in there too, one thing is, we'll get to the episode in a second, but I think it's good to know just what we learned and what we saw, because like sometimes you got to be reminded of stuff. But the other thing about the Philippines is it's a very young country.
Yes.
So the average age here is much lower than any country I go to. Like, there's no country that I go to that has a lower age. This is like kids everywhere. You got crying kids everywhere. You got happy kids everywhere. You got kids asking for money. You got kids running around, kids dancing. You joined in those with those
You see more,
university students
there's,
dancing
like,
everywhere.
everywhere you go, there's university students. So like just young,
And they look really young. Like,
young
like you
people
actually
are
might think the university students are in junior high. Like, they look so young. Like,
but they're 20s, yeah.
yeah, like that. And the sweetie pies are just endless. I mean, like, if you're looking for like fucking sweetie pie, like, it's like every 2 seconds, right? Like every fucking 5 seconds. You're just, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah, it's out of control.
Yeah,
out of control, baby.
I would say like the things that are really unique about this place is the amount of hot girls and girls of ages you want to bone, right? They're just everywhere. The diving, we haven't gone yet.
Good girls too.
Oh, fucking sweet girls.
That's a huge thing, because like
Absolutely.
there's a total, especially if you're honest with yourself, there's a total difference between hot girls and good girls.
Yeah.
And a good girl who's smoking hot is it's paradise. It's
Right.
the best combination. And here you get the both. It's totally sweet, good girls who are also smoking hot.
Yeah. And it's very different from Thailand. I think Thailand in the 70s was like this. But Philippines is like 2025.
Yeah.
So that is something.
That is.
And yeah.
Don't come here. You don't want to come here.
That's a definitely good idea that
Definitely don't want to
you didn't
come
come to the summer. That's a good idea. That's a great decision.
Yeah.
But
wait 10 years and then come check it out.
True.
Wait till everything's
true. All good things must
been
pass.
filtered out.
Right.
All the trash.
When the
all bad air,
internet ruins all the girls, like then
the
it's
girls
time
get
to
on
come.
OnlyFans, then you want to come.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So wait, don't come to it's a good thing you guys didn't come to the summit. You're definitely
Don't
not
strike.
missing out.
Don't strike when the iron's hot. Wait till it cools down and then just pound away, just mercilessly on the steel. where it doesn't really do anything.
I want Tom to find the best, so just wait a couple years and then you can come over.
Today I'm going to talk about a very serious topic, and I don't really know how to put it into words because it is, at least for me, it's my own mindset about life and competition. And I'm just going to give you my perspective. You know, guys or people are just constantly kind of ripping each other off. Like, you have an idea and you tell your friend, and then your friend kind of like says it to somebody else and represented it kind of as his idea. Or you start something and then later on somebody says they started it. They kind of misrepresent the actual inception DNA of that concept, or they're not clear about it. They're like, oh, we did this. And actually it was like mainly you, or it was mainly him, and also, it's going to take me a little while to get to it because it really is a different way of thinking about friends. And I personally think it's a superior way. And I want to explain the Ronin way of thinking about friends and people and not, I'm not saying it's the best way to make money, because ripping people off is not a bad way to make money. Just pure cash, just ripping, just hit and run, and there's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing illegal about taking an idea from somebody, right? It's not like something that you go to jail for. It's just something that it's under the current where, basically it might be so common in your friend group or in your neighborhood or where you live or whatever, that you actually think this is the way life is. And I kind of want to give you a perspective of the way I see life when it comes to friends, making money, and why I think this is ultimately the best way to be. And how deep it affects your life. How deeply it affects your friendships, your general happiness. And I guess almost ability to relax in life. I'll try to say different stories that'll kind of try to give you a concept here. I think most people think, what is legal? There was that old Al Capone said, it's just business. And I did an episode on that, trying to hit this point, but I don't think I really nailed it. But it was kind of like, it's just business. It's only business or whatever. And a lot of people quote that. But that's actually one of the top mafiosos in history. And, that is not a small thing. People quote it as if it's like a rule of life. It's only business. So what they're saying is, I think what they're thinking is all is fair in business. In life, you fuck your friends over, they fuck you over. And then in the end, you kind of forgive each other and then die, right? It's that's kind of like life, And I just don't think that. I don't buy into that. I don't like that. I never bought into that. And I guess if you think of the monumental difference in this way of thinking, which is the difference between a guy who, let's say a guy makes a lot of money and he's got a really fancy hotels and nice cars and money and a really nice cigar, and he's got the right, he's got the right clothes for everything. He's got the right table at the restaurant. He's got the right rings on his finger. He's got the right girl. And then a guy who's an ascetic, who's living in the desert, and he's a monk, and he really enjoys his life. He looks at the river, and he sees beauty, and he really has a very deep enjoyment for life, and he really But if you look at those two lifestyles, they're based on completely different mindsets, absolutely. But they're both kind of real, in a way. They're both ways to live. You can believe one, and you could say there's pluses and minuses to it, and you could believe another. Now, in this case, I think there is one best way, personally. when it comes to friendships. But what's useful about that is there's two different ways to live, right? And my way of thinking or living, it takes people need to know me a few years before they kind of understand me. So let me try to explain it here. Okay, so for example, I was back in the States, you guys know, during my kind of during COVID time when my court case and COVID was going on, and I came back for the court case. Ended up being a great trip. No, it was fucking great. It was great to see you guys. It was great to meet everybody on the tour. It was really wonderful, actually. I had a great COVID. I had a lot of fun. Fuck. But I was home and I met different people, and there was a guy I met, and he comes to Summit, and when we first met, he was very on edge with me. Like, he had a lot of secrets, wouldn't tell me this, wouldn't tell me that. And so then, anyway, we're doing stuff together, blah, blah, blah. And then at some point, I noticed that basically he was a little bit enamored with my Ronin Man channel. Like, he's a little bit enamored, like, just having a YouTube channel, living life free, and like, I guess what he was enamored was what he saw, okay, was like a YouTuber who didn't have to have a job, right? And he's like, ooh, that's attractive.
I want that.
Like, I want that, right? I want that. No, that's not what it is, but that's what he saw. That's what or one aspect, that's what he saw, right? So he's like, so then I noticed, like, he started to, like, ask me questions, like it was basically like, it was so obvious to me, like, he was basically trying to steal, right, my ideas, right? He's like, what's that?
Yeah, so like, how do you start a channel? Oh, cool. How do you find the right tags? What topics do you think are the hottest ones right now?
Yeah, and like, basically, like, I'd like to start a channel like you, but a little bit different, just like a tiny, like, I want to build a house same way and everything.
Oh, something like Ronin guy.
Yeah. Maybe the fence.
Totally different.
The fence in the front yard is like 3 inches higher, which is totally different, right? Completely. And it was kind of like asking these kind of questions. And I have this kind of thing in my life a million times, right? I had a guy one time who was watching my other YouTube channel, I don't want to say which one, but I had another channel that was very popular. And he was like my biggest fan on there. He's commenting all the time. And then he moved to China, and then basically he rented a room from our company, and then he started like a YouTube channel, and he basically copied everything I did in China, right? He got a girlfriend, she was his partner, they started renting out, they doing exactly what I was doing, exactly.
And she sold the business.
and no, that's way later. But so he basically copied me exactly, and I was like, because he presented himself as a friend, right?
Oh, gotcha.
As a big supporter. And then I told him more stuff, and then he came and lived in one of our rooms, and so he was right near me, so he got to see me in person. And then he starts his own company. And the funny thing about this guy, and I think this is like important, he never knew he was ripping me off. Like, he still thought we were friends. Like, his whole purpose was ripping me off. Like, literally, that was his whole purpose. It's just to steal my ideas so he could live in China and not live in America, I guess. And he ended up, he still lives in China, by the way. But what happened was he didn't do it as well as we did, and didn't know the market as well, and ended up failing. And then he ended up doing something totally different, which succeeded. He does motorcycle tours, like sidecars. He got a job at a sidecar motorcycle company where they basically drive around. And now he's got a wife and kid in China. Mexican dude from San Diego. And he's done good. So, but he basically copied my idea, and then it didn't work. And it was like, I just was enamored because I could see it coming. I could see him just ripping every single idea I have off. Like the same part of town, the same business model, the same amount of people. People have the same roles, using the same newspapers to advertise. You're renting the exact same thing we were renting, right? And then
Hey, can I copy off your homework? Sure, but just like change up the answers a little bit so they don't think you cheated, you know? You did everything the exact same.
And what was funny about it was, as he was doing it, like, he didn't seem like he understood that essentially he was trying to ruin me, really. Like people don't realize when they steal from you, like if you steal from a poet or whatever back in the day, right? And he writes his poem down and then he goes, takes a break, swims, you copy it, and you basically ruin the guy. Like, he didn't realize, like, from my perspective, like, that's just total scum. But I realize there's so much scum out there in this mindset, right? And so then anyway, now he's on my Facebook, but I realize he's the kind of guy who does not, how do you put this into words? He just does not understand, or doesn't want to understand, that anybody that he sees with value in his life, if he can, he's just going to copy it and steal it. And it's just business, and it's just the way it is. I guess that's the way he's raised or whatever. And for me, like, let me try to put my thinking in perspective, because it's not by the law. Oh, here, that's an important part. It's not by the law. So most people like him, they say, well, I didn't break the law. So
it's not illegal.
Right, it's not illegal, right? And he's in business, and people copy each other. But for me, the big difference is, it's one thing if a person that doesn't know you copies you, right? You know what I mean? Like, some guy's got a fab making chips in China, and then some dude in Indonesia's like, yeah, chips are hot, and then he starts a fab company. Like, that's different. It's different when someone plays the friend, gets in close, talks to you all the time, walks around with you, sees you doing everything, and he's not ripping off a fab. He's like ripping off your lifestyle, kind of, basically. Ripping off everything, like all your ideas, right? All at once. Because it's such a unique business, what I had, right? And so I saw this guy, and I realized that, he doesn't understand. He does not get my way of living, okay? But he's a normal guy, right? He followed the law. There was nothing we could sue him for, and in the end, it didn't even hurt us at all. It was fine. So, fast forward, I'm back in the States. I'm hanging out with this guy, and he has some ideas that are unique, based on, like, decades of experience in this one business. And he has a new idea for a patent for a what do you call it? Like a thing, like a physical thing that you have to make and weld and, patent and then sell in stores and everything, right? And so he's got this idea, and he was very careful about showing me the idea in the beginning. Like, he wouldn't even name it. And even though I was there with him all the time, like, it's kind of in the back of the house. Like, he never explained it or anything.
He's got like a padlocked room.
He just like, the ideas were padlocked, right? And then if he was talking on the phone and I walked in, he'd kind of like walk out. Yeah, and then walk out and talk about it. And the guy he was talking to was his friend that he grew up with, right? And so, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this story. So then basically, I was coming and going. You know how I come back in the States and go. So I'd come back and be with him like 3 months or 4 months. And then the next year, like, we were talking, and then he started to be enamored with Ronin Man. And he started to, like, basically, I could start a channel, be a little different, So basically, he was like protecting his idea from me in his mind, and thinking that it was okay to copy my ideas, right? Like, this is just what he thought friendship was when he met me. He thought that's what it is. Friendship is you're kind of frenemies, and you basically, like, have your own ideas, but your friends are going to steal them if you tell them, and you can't really blame them for that. And I'm going to steal from you, and that's the way it is, right?
So you don't really trust each other.
I don't know what he thinks,
Yeah.
but this is the way he lives, and the way he lived. And so then the years passed, and next year I come back, and then he said to me, I could see this like big revelation on his face. Well, the idea of starting a channel didn't work. But what's funny was his other friend that he was talking to, he has a channel. He like copied Ronin Man ideas through this guy. This guy like copies everybody.
Ronin boy.
He's got his own. But the difference with this guy is I personally think he's got no charisma. So I don't think that his channel is going to succeed. He's tried a bunch of things. To me, it's sad. Because it's like one thing if you rip somebody off successfully at least. But it's another thing you rip them off and you fail. It's such a failure. I just think that's such a failure. Because you're a failure as a friend and you're also a failure in business. And even a failure with like help. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying the guy ripped me off. I don't know. But he did start a channel, which is fine. It's not ripping me off. And it's not a men's channel. Okay. But still, definitely the idea of coming. This guy's constantly looking at people around him like, what can I do? Like for my thing, you know, like what can I get from my friends, right? I just think it's the wrong idea. Okay. And I'm going to explain. You're going to understand this by the end. Like completely understand because this is not some video making. Like this is the DNA of what I believe is right and wrong and the way to live. Okay. So it's not easy to explain. It's not easy to kind of like nail down. So hopefully you'll get glimpses of it and start to see it in your life. That's my kind of goal of this one. So then my friend started to trust me more, the guy that was close to me. And he said, basically the other guy told him, because they grew up together, let's say A and B, right? A is the guy that I was staying with, and B was his friend who was starting his own channel.
B-hole.
Yeah. So A's got the invention, B's got the channel now. And so A said to me, hey, B, like basically, I know B's always trying to rip me off. Like whenever I have a good idea, B's always there. They grew up together. He's like, B's always ready to fucking jump on anything. If there's ever any opportunity, B's always trying to get involved or steal it. And if I don't do it, he's going to do it. And so he said, B, if I don't do my invention, then B's going to steal it. And I didn't say anything. But like for me, that's like treason. Like that, because this is like a big thing. Like this is not a channel. This is like a specific invention. Almost like E equals MC squared for Einstein, right? This is your thing, right? This is based on, this guy worked his ass off for 30 fucking years in this industry. And he's a creative guy. He really is a creative guy. And he came up with this unique concept, which is completely doesn't exist, And he's got this thing and he's trying to get a patent on it. And his friend is basically lurking around, ready to rip him off at all times. And his friend told him, because at one point he wasn't going to do the invention anymore. He wasn't hyped up about it. And then B said, hey, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. And then that woke him up, so he started focusing on it more. And then he told me that. So he trusted me more. So he said, hey, B told me that. B said he would do my invention if I didn't do it. And he said, B's always like that. B's always ready to, fucking anything I do, he's ready to steal it. And I finally could see he was ready to hear, And I said, basically, let's get this clear. Like, you have your invention, okay? You have your idea, and yes, it would be very easy. It would actually be super easy for me to steal it. Why would it be easy? Dude, I lived in China forever. China is still the manufacturing capital. They still make shit so cheap and easy. I got friends that source. That's all they do is source manufacturers. And it's not easy to get something made in China well. Super hard, actually. Like, I got friends, their whole job is sourcing. They go to China and they fucking take a patent, an idea, and they find the best company to make it, the lightest, the best, the cleanest, the fastest, the most creative, the most professional, on a truck, with the paperwork done, and in your door for nothing, right? That is gold. Those guys, I got friends that's what they do. Like, I think they have huge websites, like outsourcing or what is it called? Supply chain management, all this stuff. And that's what they do. So for me, a physical invention would be insanely easy to steal. Because all I'd have to do is call one of my fucking guys over there. It's not patented, right? And I wouldn't even have to have it under my name. I could just say, look, make this thing better, cheaper, lighter, improve it, use a better, lighter steel, make it look better, make it look more cool, make it look more modern, not welded and look ugly, right? And I could have a fucking one on the market in 2 months, actually. Coming out of China, like, how are you going to sue that? You know what I mean? Impossible. But he realized, like, and then he kind of said to me, he's like, trusted me. He said, B's always trying to rip me off. And I said, I said, A, I would never do it. Like, I don't want anything you have. I don't want your business. I don't want your invention. I don't want your ideas. I'm a friend. A friend never steals from his friend. Ever. Anything. I'm here to support your idea. And my stuff is my stuff. Like Ronin Man. Ronin Man's my channel. You know what I mean? That's my thing. And I'm loving it. I love doing it. And that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, I've got my things that I'm doing for good reason, right? And you've got things you're doing. And those are separate things. I don't care how much money I can make ripping your idea off. Like, it literally means nothing to me. It would never happen because that's your thing. And I expect people to respect my thing. Now, I give some breaks because some people just don't understand this way of thinking. They kind of like copy you for a while, and then they give you your business idea, whatever. And then they realize, okay, fuck, this guy would never rip me off. Like, never. I can't rip this guy off. Basically, that's often what happens with my good friends, is they start out thinking, and then they realize, wait, this is different. Like, it doesn't matter if there was like $1 billion on the table. Like, this guy just would not take it from me, ever. Like, that's just the way the guy is. Like, I literally could leave billions of dollars. This guy is not going to take anything from me. And I'm not going to take anything from him. And I can have a real friend, basically. And that's what it is. When I dealt with a very serious criminal, a new guy, and that's what he finally said to me. He wanted me to do something with him, and when I said I didn't want to do it, he said, I remember he said this to me. We're laying down in this hotel room in Shanghai, and he said, it's okay that you don't want to do it, because I was worried because he had told me some idea, and I was worried it was stuff that was very, very criminal that could get him, the worst, right? And he said, you know what? The fact that I told you every detail, like, he kind of trusted me. Like, I know you're not going to say anything. And he said, I'm so glad you didn't want to do it. He goes, because I've never had a friend. That's what he said. He was killed after that. But he goes, I've never had a friend. Like a real friend. He goes, I just want to be your friend, right? And then he said, every friend that I have, eventually, this is what he told me, I have to kill. That's what he told me. It's basically because there's always something. And he said, I just want somebody, we're not doing anything together, like, we just respecting each other's thing, Yeah. And it was like so cool because he was totally serious, this guy. He was from Lebanon, and it was like the coolest thing to talk to him because he taught me a lot of stuff. Like, I never knew the way major criminals think, like a real fucking major criminal, right? And he told me a lot of stuff about how he launders money and how he stores money and how he thinks and how the world works. He told me a lot of stuff that was very interesting that I just would have not got from anybody else. It was a unique friendship. But I kind of saw him as just the way I looked at this guy was, he was from a very poor Lebanese background. And he was doing a very dangerous business. And I think it was like one of the few things he could do to succeed as like a poor Lebanese street kid, right? Basically, and that's what he did, and it worked, right? He did very well. And I think he had a good life, I think he enjoyed his life, and he had a good life. And he was probably in his late 40s when he went, And his son called me and told me. But yeah, when I think about it, it's pretty heavy, actually, what I'm saying. Because the trust, like the the ability to trust another person, I think, is very unique. And the only way that you can trust is if you know what that means. And you can forgive small things. Because it's kind of like in the Bible, like, forgive them for they know not what they do, right?
Yeah.
When somebody first meets somebody with a different mindset, they don't know that guy's perspective on that thing. They just don't, right? They're just a normal guy, right? How are they going to know, right? It's a very unique way of thinking, right? Like the ascetic in the desert, right? It's like, you don't understand it. What's he doing out there, And then eventually you do understand, right? So basically what happened is A now tells me everything about his idea and how he's doing and everything. And I'm like, yeah, cool, if I can help you with that or whatever, let me know. Now, I don't think he understands the value of sourcing in China, which I think is personally stupid, but hey, maybe it'll work. It might not be, because it's a very heavy thing he's making. So maybe making in Mexico might be smarter for this thing. But I still think we would learn from bringing this thing to China and finding out what they could do. Because the weight doesn't mean that much in China. Because when you put, for example, when you fill a 20-foot container with stuff, they don't weigh it. It's by the size of the container. Yeah, it's just by the size. You could put cotton in it or you could put steel in it. They're pretty much the same price, as far as I understand. It's basically like it's not like a package in the mail. It's different. It's basically the size on the ship.
Yeah, it makes sense because the container is like a standardized form of shipping. So
right.
It just makes it simple that way.
Right. So I think that we could find a manufacturer if we open up the vistas of places, right, of ideas and friends, right. And I have some very reliable friends in manufacturing. And maybe I will be able to help him at some point. But that's it. I would help him. Like, that's it. I don't want a part of it. People often say when I help them with business, they always say, this is part of it too. There's another cheesier thing that I don't like, that I don't do, that you might not pick up. So one is I don't steal from the guy. But the other thing is, so the guy says to me, I understand you're not trying to steal from me. Well, look, if you help me get this manufactured, I'll give you 10%. For example. People will tell you that. So let's say you're following this way of living with friends. But then your friend's like, I really need your help. What if I give you 10%? So you have a company that has no income right now. It's like an unknown. Okay? It's not like 10% of Walmart. Okay? I think if somebody... Yeah. I think if somebody told me, I'll give you 10% of my shares of Nvidia or Walmart or a real company for you to do this real thing for our business, I would consider that fair. Okay? But if it's a startup that doesn't exist, is anybody offers you a percentage of a startup, one, you're never going to get any money. Because 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 5 years, and 9 out of 10 of those fail in the next 5 years. So you're not going to get any money when someone offers you 10%, because it's going to fail, okay? For some reason or another. Small businesses almost always fail, right? So don't be tricked into this. And also, it's going to bring out your greedy side. It's like the same part of you that would want to steal it is taking the 10%. Don't take the 10%. Just tell them, hey, look, I'm happy. Have boundaries. Say, I can use this much time to help you, basically, in your mind. I can use an hour a week. I can do this thing for you. In your mind, you're like, okay, hour a week, that's fair. For my friend, fuck yeah. I know this business. I can help him. So I'm gonna an hour a week, or whatever it is, 2 phone calls or a trip to Thailand or whatever it is. Yeah. I'm gonna meet and I'm gonna introduce him to this guy. I'm gonna go to where they are. I'm gonna introduce them, take them out to dinner, and that's it. I don't want him to call me ever again. Like, you got to have a boundary, because you can't be obviously helping everybody all the time and be on call and then not take any money. But like, don't take money from your friends. Just Just think of what is the most valuable thing you can do for your friend. Like, what's the one thing, what's the sweet spot? If he's asking you for help and you do know something, right? You say, okay, there's the sweet spot. I can easily do this, and it won't take a lot of time. It won't kill me. And then I can walk away. And it's his responsibility to succeed from that point, right? So my idea was I would find a source. I would find the right guy to find the right manufacturer for him, like the trustworthy guy. And that's it. I would put them together, and then if they bicker, which they will, right? If they bicker and disagree and everything, which business happens, right? I don't want to fucking hear it. Like, it's none of my business. I would want to turn him from a guy who doesn't know how to get manufacturing done and is going to get fucked over 100% by the dude in Mexico. Because it's going to happen. You got to know how to source. Sourcing is a whole nother business. Like, one thing about living in China for 10 years, when it was the manufacturing capital of the world, is you learn a lot about manufacturing and sourcing, no matter who the fuck. I sourced motorcycle parts for people. I sourced engines for bicycles for another guy. Like, I went to factories, I know how much they scam you. I know how much bullshit goes on. I know how hard it is to find somebody. I know that they always send you good motors the first time. Then they send you shitty motors the next time. Like, there's this endless scams. It's very difficult to find a good manufacturing guy you can trust long term. Or at least for 5 years, until you get another one, right? But I know I'm happy to give that information to this friend. Because he's got the perfect business for me to help him as a friend, right? But I don't want 10%. The only thing I do want one thing. I want for him to never forget it. So when we talk about things, he says, man, I had the idea, because I can see the future, like getting the right source would change everything. It's going to look better. It's going to be lighter. It's going to more like surf racks and cool, like gym equipment. It's going to look, instead of like a rusty welded up thing, it's going to look cool with my manufacturer. And it's going to be cheaper. And they'll be able to do bigger volumes.
More profit,
yeah. Yeah, more profit, more attractive, And so what I would want him to do, and I do want something, I would want him to say, at the key time, Paul came in and brought the right guy, and that was the key to manufacturing. And that was what we needed. And that's what made it big. This guy right here didn't ask for anything and helped. That was what I would want him to do. The worst thing is someone helps you, they don't ask for anything, and you don't fucking pretend like you did it yourself. Fuck you, right? Fuck you. And that's what guys do. Like, you got to worry about people ripping you off. You worry about ripping them off. Because you can rip them off for money, or you can rip them off for ideas, or you can rip them off for value, or whatever you know what I mean? Like, what is that called? What is that called, ripping off? You're basically, he's doing a key part of your business, and you're not giving him credit. I guess you're ripping him off for credit. Like, you got to be grateful for people that fucking helped you. That's fucking key. It's a fucking key thing. Like, probably right now you're ripping somebody off without knowing it. Be grateful. Verbalize it. When someone helps you, verbalize it.
Give credit where credit's due.
Give credit. You look back in your life, shit changed, and you say, you know what? This fucking guy did this thing. And to me at that time, it was everything, right? And it is soul cleaning for you. Because you'll be like, fuck, it's true. Like, you know what I mean? You're not making it up. You're not groveling. It's just fucking true. Without that one thing, everything else wouldn't happen. Or whatever it is that you helped the guy, or he helped you on something, right? And it could be like a teacher. And that's why I hate all these Westerners who always talk bad. Like, for example, they went to like a religious school. I knew this girl. She went to a religious school, and I would talk to her, and she would always talk back about her religion. And she had an expat job. She was making like $350,000 a year. Wow. Everything paid for, insurance, cars. She was living in Tokyo, fucking styling out. And it was because she had a good education. And the education was from a Catholic school. They subsidized. And here she was living this great life. And we would meet in Catholic churches because it was an AA meeting. And then she would fucking talk shit in a loud voice about the Catholic Church being the worst thing. And I was looking at her, I was like, your whole life is successful.
Ran for bitch.
Yeah, because of this fucking education that you got.
Yeah.
And no gratitude.
Yeah.
No vision. Like just basically stealing. She was stealing from her teachers, stealing from the institution that helped her. No gratitude, no perspective. You need to have perspective, gratitude, and you also have to, a lot of other things. But those will clean your soul. And when you do them, they will. And I say the same thing with your parents. Like anybody who fucking took care of you. Like, you know what I mean? They stayed up all night. They fucking fed you. You're sick and vomiting, They took you to the fucking hospital. Like, even if they were personalized disorder. Like, even if they did a bunch of other things. They kept you alive, right? Like, if you ever have a kid, you realize they're fucking almost dying all the time. As a parent, you're running around trying to keep them alive, right? Falling out of things, fucking getting sick, and, almost drowning, and saving them out of the water, You could be a total psycho, but as long as you do that, you did something that may be the most important thing, right? Person's alive, right? So I think the vision of what people did for you, I think the reason why parents don't get any credit is because you were too young to remember. But the easy way to fix that one is watch kids in real life. And then you'll be like, somebody had to do that for me. Like, even though I don't remember it, who it was or what it was, they had to do it. So you can trick yourself to know things that you don't even know, but they're true. Like, they didn't leave you out in the jungle, you know what I mean? You weren't out there living with tigers and growing up and fuck without language, right?
Yeah.
The people did shit for you, drove you places, took care of you, right? So I think that will cleanse your soul, allow you to trust other people, and give you a maturity. Because most guys in the West are immature. They do not realize their life is based on things that happened before. Their wisdom, their knowledge, their education. And also, because they don't appreciate, I think they secretly know. As a man, we know, like, women can just lie all the time and it's fine. But I think men, we have to know kind of the truth. I do think this is like more deep in men myself. I think men have more of a sense of right and wrong about the world. That's why we're better policemen. We're kind of better parents in like drawing lines, right? Whereas women are kind of like, let the kid do whatever. Wait till your dad gets home, right? Dad's like, nope, can't do that. No fucking candy for a month. You can't go there. But I can't. No, you're not fucking going there. Because that's the dad, right? So we're good at laying down laws. And if we don't lay down the reality with ourselves, then we're lying, right? And so we get confused. Like, we get confused. So you kind of got to build the building blocks. And over time, it'll come with time. Once you have this perspective, is you never want to take your friend's stuff. You always want to help him for free. But there's a line. You always have to make sure you don't. Because what happens if you help him like 24 hours a day, and then you don't make any money, and then you're poor, and then you need to borrow money, you're going to get resentful. So you do have to draw some kind of line. Now, the exception is when you have so much to gain from learning from him that you're willing to be poor just to learn from this person. I've had people like that in my life where it's like, oh, I'm going to just learn from this guy. Here's my chance to learn from this guy. And I'm not, because one day he won't be here. I'm just going to learn everything I can. I don't give a shit about other things. And that's fine too. But as long as you know that, right? Don't get yourself in a position where you're helping with the expectation you're going to get something, or you're helping, like be a mature guy, be able to, and this is my way, is I can do some real high value things. They're like a punch in the gut value. And so I'll tell the guy, hey, I'll do that for free. I'll get you done. I'll get you in there. Now, truth be told, once I do that, I will do more things. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to think of what I could really do for the guy that's really going to make sense, that will fix a lot of his problems, with a one trick, one thing. It might be bringing in the right accountant. It might be bringing in the right manufacturer. It might be bringing in the right finance guy. It might be, the treasury guy. He knows how to borrow money. He knows how to keep, treasury is a different thing than accounting. Treasury guy is a guy who can balance. He knows how to, like, lines of credit in different banks. Once a company gets to a certain level, you need a treasury guy, like a good treasury guy. And he's got to be super reliable guy, super math guy. And he can keep things going. For a company like Walmart, Microsoft, treasury guys. Any of the bigger companies need a treasury guy. I introduced treasury guy to the main treasury guy to Microsoft when I was headhunting. And I learned all about it. And it's super important. So there's certain things people need. And I did it for my friend who was president of Microsoft Japan. And he needed a good treasury guy. So I found the right guy for him. And he was like, oh, he was so grateful, right? And so it's not necessarily you can help a guy in his business, in a big business, or you can help him in a small business. So I find ways I can help. I find ways I can do things. And don't steal from your friends. And you will find that if you no longer lie to yourself, if you no longer steal credit, if you no longer steal, you will see everybody around you a different way. Once you get this thing right, the bad friends will become obvious. You'll feel it. You know people have human weakness. I mean, everybody makes, but you'll know. You'll be like, this guy just takes. Like, I can't succeed with this guy around me. He just takes. He doesn't, whether he's a nice guy or not, that doesn't matter. It's like, you put him on the once a year, let's go drinking list or something, right? Because like the guy. And like, basically more will be revealed. So what I'm saying is that the wisdom you will gain from fixing yourself will also protect you from scammers. And then I will warn you this. If you don't rip people off, you will lose opportunities to make easy money. So, you have to understand that life's not all about money. Like, money's great. I love making money. I think it's great. I've helped a lot of guys make a lot more money. And I think making money is a good thing. I'm very pro money. I'm pro success. But also I know that it's not everything. It really isn't. There's very valuable things that you can't buy with money. And you have to have that. I think a mature man has that. Eventually reaches that. Might take a while. But he eventually realizes that there's things that are way more valuable than money. Way more valuable. And I personally think a friend that really you can trust, that you can relax around, who's high value, like a guy who's just got skills. I'm not talking some loser. A loser can't do this. It's just, you'll realize, you'll be like, fuck, this is awesome. I can tell him anything. You can tell him any kind of secret. He's not going to steal it. He's not going to fuck your girl. He's just not going to do it. Like, no matter what, this guy is not going to do it. So as soon as you make it clear what you think, he's not going to. And then you can tell people things. And then you can talk about things. And so it allows you to, examine those parts of your life that you never really examined. And to be honest with them. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like if the guy is trustworthy, where you could have like a bunch of crypto and he helps you set up a wallet and he sees the private keys, right? You know what I mean? Like a friend, if you have a friend who's completely trustworthy, like he actually sets it up, the private keys show up, right? You know what I mean? They're going to be somewhere there. It's like there's, you know what I mean? You can try to cover it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like if you have a friend who really is there for you, you'll just be like, he'll be like, okay, you got to write those down. Okay, now make sure you got every word. Okay, now we got to go here. And, and then you're just like, oh, God, I don't know. There's just something like my brother's like that. Like, I think I started this with my brother growing up, now that I think about it, is that we didn't rip each other off. I never fucked one of his girls. I never flirted with any of his girls. He never ever did anything with any of mine. I had a bunch of business ideas. My brother never cheesed out. Like, we both were there for each other. I think that's where I started this. Because me and my brother were kind of like the only ones I could trust, right? You know what I mean? So it was just me and him. We had our thing. I think that's where it started, I think. Yeah, like nonverbal. And then it helped me a lot later in life, yeah. I think I help him a lot too, because I think there's like a trust. There's a trust that he has. Like, not only would I not tell anybody, but I'm clever enough to not slip. Like, words don't slip out when it comes to things I shouldn't be talking about or shouldn't be. That's you got to have that kind of. You got to have that ability to fucking, you can be quote unquote trustworthy, but if you don't have that ability to not let things out, because that's another way you can steal and break all this stuff to pieces, is by having a slip. And partly, I think it's partly because I don't drink. Like, when I drink, I'm much more easy to get things out of. Right? And you know what I mean? And I think that's the one non-trustworthy thing about my brother, is he drinks. And when he drinks, he's vulnerable. Like, I know that, I've seen that with him. And because I don't drink, like, there's no time when I'm vulnerable. You know what I mean? That's another thing. You could be super trustworthy, but if you have a vice that makes you not trustworthy for hours at a time, you do have to think about that. You do have to think. You got to think of all this stuff, because one slip can often ruin everything.
There's a way for the wolf to get in the hen house.
Yeah, sometimes there's
like just one little door in can ruin it all.
Yeah.
Even if you're normally 90% of the time great.
Right.
All it takes that one fuck up.
So your character and also your actions and your knowledge of yourself, they're all there. I'm not saying you have to follow like my way of doing it. I implement things in my own way. But I think this, and I will say this clearly, I expect this from friends. Like, I live this way, and I expect that from friends. And if I don't get that, I'm not going to tell them, but I just realize that they can't be a friend. Like, it just doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. There's got to be some barriers for them. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say it, but it's just like they're going to have some. Because I just realized they're not in that fucking mindset. So I don't want to put myself, because I am in that mindset. I'll pass things up. I'll pass up great business opportunities right and left to keep my vices. Because I feel, at the end of the day, that my way is the best way. Like, I'm very carefree. Maybe that's why I look young, is I don't have a lot of stress about stuff. Because I'm not hiding. Like, you basically know who I am, right? And it's like, I don't have to hold it in. I don't have a secret. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like in that way, I think there's a carefreeness that comes from this. There's a carefreeness in your life. So I think in the end, it's a very smart. I have a little pitch for it. I think it's a very great way to live. And I see a lot of people with a lot of stress, And now I'm thinking, like, I wonder how much this affects my life, Because when I find out you're doing something, I'm happy. I can be jealous for a moment. Unless you don't have emotions, right?
Fuck, that was a good idea.
Yeah, when you see somebody doing really well, you're like, fuck, You're like, oh, no.
Everybody but me.
Yeah.
Everybody's killing it. When will it be my turn?
And I think too, when you have this mindset, when you have friends, there's you do end up killing it in your own way.
You're always gonna win, and
You do.
You end up surrounded by the best people who want to help you and see you succeed too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a way more genuine way to live, and maybe you don't win as much in the short term, but I think you win a lot more in the long term. And in the end, you get great friends that you can trust and rely on and have your back, and that's priceless. That's like you can't buy that. You know.
I was just thinking too. Something happened this morning. I got an email, and it's very interesting because it was somebody that I grew up with, who I was this way with, and then he fucked me in such a big way. Like one of the worst betrayals of my life. Maybe the worst betrayal because of the position he was in. Probably the worst betrayal. Yeah. I have to say, yeah. I can't think of any worse betrayal than that. I mean, my girlfriend has told my daughter that one hurt more, but it was a woman. Women are just untrustworthy on this stuff. They're just not the same as men. You know, and also that was more expected. Like these days, you kind of expect women are going to kidnap your kid, basically. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty, you know what I mean? Like there is something that protects you a little bit as a man. If you know something's common, you can get ready for it, and you're like, okay, if she kidnaps one, like really, it's so common now. And the courts, everybody kidnapped your kid. You're like, okay, this could happen. You know, in your mind, you know. So he doesn't hit you the same way. This was like unexpected. This was like a betrayal, this other guy. So it hurt more. I think it hurt more because, one, it was a man. And two, I could have ruined him. Okay, this guy's a very high value guy, a high profile guy. And I know a lot about him. I could write a book. I could make a video, and I never did. Trust me, I thought about it. I was pretty angry about it, you know. But I never did it, right? Even though he fucked me and deserved it, I didn't do it. And the interesting thing is, now it's been, how many years? It's been about 24 years since this betrayal. And I got 2 emails recently from somebody else, but it let me know that this guy is trying to come back in my life. Like, because he knows how fucking great a friend I am. And I heard from the grapevine, because he fucked me so bad. And then I had this very, very unusual source of information that he would have never expected, who told me what was going on in his life. And he said, whenever he met people and became friends with them, he would say the times with me were the best times in his life. And I was like, how could the guy fuck me like that? And then tell people that. Now, he doesn't know I know that he told people that. But it was like, people are complicated, right? And so now, I can tell the guy's trying to come back in, you know, which is interesting, which is very interesting. So I think, and to be honest, it's not just one person. Like if he comes back in, there's a whole bunch of other things that will happen. You know what I mean? He's not some random guy, right? So I think I gotta look at this. Like, I think if you live this way, I think you can be fucked by somebody, but the way you are is like a magnet that other people don't have. People just don't live this way. So I think I think that even if they do fuck you in the worst way possible, when nobody would ever think it would work out or would come back, you never fucking know, because they need you in a way. They want that real something. You know what I mean? So even if you get fucked on this, like, don't give up hope. Like, this is 24 years ago, right? And I had never thought anything would change. But I'm sensing, it's 2 emails, I'm definitely sensing something's changing. Something's changing. And it could be very good for not just me, but quite a few people around me. You know, so like in this, I'm not going to say, but in this thing, right? I think that it would be wise for me now to be ready for him to kind of, in his own cheesy way, to apologize. You can't really apologize for what he did. It's like impossible. But at least to show that he, you know what I mean? Because he knows he did it. And nobody else except me knows that. What he fucked me on from the outside, when someone fucks you, okay, really hard, they fuck you in a way that everybody believes. They show some facts so that everybody agrees with them, right? And if that fact is not exactly the way it was, only he knows that. Other people might believe in me and say, yeah, I don't, you know, that guy's a good guy anyway, but they don't know the fact is not exactly what it was, right? And so he's the only one who really knows. So if he comes back, which it sounds like it's kind of happening. It might take 10 years, but it is interesting. It is interesting. So I think you really live the right way. You win in multiple ways. Hey, you kind of win in I told you so kind of ways. You know what I mean? And also you win because you're right. And that's a good feeling for guys. Guys like to know they're not fucking up. Like, I know I was right. I know I fucked up, okay? He took advantage of something. Okay, he did. I fucked up. I did. You know, the way it wasn't completely made up. Like, I did fuck up on something. It wasn't anything like this kind of stuff I'm talking about. It was a totally different thing. But it was something that the Ronin guys wouldn't mind. Okay. It wasn't some. But anyway, I did something that society, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And any of my friends would laugh about this, literally. But he could use it. He could use it. And society would go for it, right? But I know the truth. And I'm not going to even say what the truth is. Because if I say the truth and it does come out and somebody's smart enough to figure out who this is, I don't want that. I'm not here to... I wish the best for him. I do. He's getting older. We all live and die. I'm not out looking for revenge. Like, I literally am not out for revenge. I live my life. I love the way I live. If people are smart enough to see the way I live, they often take it on. And they're kind of like, what was I doing before? Like, who were my friends? Like, what was my fucking reality? You know, like, what the fuck was I doing? You know,
What in the fuck?
What in the fuck? That's like Bubbles. Bubbles in Trailer Park Boys. Like my favorite comedy of all time. Yeah. What in the fuck? we should.
So basically, this guy thinks I fucked him over, so he done fucked me real big. But honestly, I think his portrayal was worse because I didn't really have any bad intentions at all with what I did. It really wasn't even that big of a thing in the first place. But everyone's making a big deal out of it basically, and
so I crashed the truck and ran over a few things, and a couple things caught on fire, and
I was like, what's the big deal? You only had one or two drinks.
Like, I am smart.
Basically sober.
A lot of people think I'm dumb, but I am smart. I self-smarted myself by doing drugs. And sorry. Dude, Trailer Park Boys is the fucking best. But there you go. There you go.
The Ricky logic is the logic that guys are using their fucking friends over, basically. Basically, if someone says something out loud, that's basically, what they call it, public information or whatever. It's basically, public domesticated. It's domain. So you can just, you have access to it. Like if I swing on a park, that's not stealing from nobody.
Yeah.
It's a public park, so this idea was just out in the wind, and I just happened to catch it and grab onto it, and now it's my idea.
Yeah, I didn't give you permission to broadcast TV shows into my trailer park. Like,
you keep what you find, whatever they say. That's how it's like.
Finders keepers,
Yeah.
Like, I should sue you for, broadcasting TVs. My, what is it? Antenna, But anyway, okay, all right, guys. I hope I did a good job there.
That's great.
I think I nailed it. I think I think the long-term guys are going to understand this one. Anyway, we're going to go and have a fucking great day. And I think we got to figure out where we're going to scuba dive and snorkel. We got to get off our asses. We're going to hit the gym today. We're down in Dumageddon. It's fucking awesome. Going to be here for a few more days. 4 more days? 5 more days? I'm going to leave on the 3rd of December. And I want to make the most of this. Anyways, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Oh, happy Thanksgiving for you guys over there.